I'm trying to see. It's like a social experiment. How long it take a person to say something, you know, when they know they've been recorded without.
But you the person.
I know. I'm just
trying to see there. Wait.
I was trying to see how long it take you to acknowledge it.
Why?
You gonna introduce yourself, or you gonna keep being upset?
Are you gonna mediate this in any kind of way?
Yeah, you know.
Set the camera and expect me to do everything.
I mean, it's your interview. The people can get to know you better. So when you in my future videos, well, you already in videos, but when you're in my future videos, they can refer to this video and say, "Oh, that's Derek, the guy who in the army, you know, who voted for Trump." They
not vote for Trump.
They need to know this information. So, can you introduce yourself?
Hello, greetings. My name is Derek Kevin Broomfield Jr.
All right, now I'm gonna quickly, you know, because you're on the clock. I had topics in mind, but we're gonna run through. I just want your opinion.
Talk about the topics you got.
All right,
be good.
All right, come on. All right, before we get into you personally, they have some hot topics going on in the world, and I want your opinion on these topics as a black light skinned man. I want you to talk about, you know, I guess give your opinion on these different said topics. The first one being Kobe Bryant's death. After Kobe Bryant died, it was brought up again that he had a case in 2003 with a woman that he was said to have raped. And basically, Gayle King brought that up again in her interview with the WNBA player, and she kept like picking at it. And people who are close to Kobe, or people who are big fans of Kobe, were outraged by this. And Snoop Dogg went on Instagram and proceeded to call her names. I think Boosie said something too. I don't know if he called out her name too. But basically what it did was it started like this rift with black men and black women, and this big debate about how black men disrespect black women, and how Gayle King had a right as a journalist to ask those questions. So my question to you is, what's your opinion on that whole situation? Do you feel that black men, that because Gayle King was a black woman, that maybe they should have, you know, choose better words, or like, how do you feel about that whole situation, sir?
I feel as though Gayle King should not have been called a dog-head beat by Snoop Dogg. I felt like that was pretty excessive for what we were saying with the situation, although I understand his emotion behind it. And so we have to look at that, you know, in our business, you know, working in Black Horizon, we understand that, and even as a black person, you know, sometimes we don't know how to fully express what we're trying to say, and we may be articulate, but at the same time, we might not know how to put those feelings into words, and so we say or do things that may, to other people, seem like it's an elevated, reaction to something, but in reality, like, this is just how we feel. And so I think what Snoop Dogg felt, I understood why he felt that way, because he probably felt like she was disrespecting the memory of Kobe, because the man just passed. He just passed. It upset the entire nation because he was so loved by everybody. And Kobe, you know, he had a lot of impacts on and like I say, everybody, because even somebody who didn't even watch basketball, you knew who Kobe Bryant was. You know, the top 24, the Lakers, you know who Kobe Bryant is, the Mamba. He was everywhere. They put him everywhere. And even outside of that, you know, he had different messages. You can look at his life and you can see, you know, the obstacles that he was up against and the success that he had, his tribulations to try. He lived his life in the public. Like, you can clearly go back and look and see all of these things. Everything was in the public. And so, you know, you come to admire somebody, you know, whether I use myself for example. I don't watch basketball. I tried to, couldn't get into it. It's just not for me. And, you know, that does not discount me from being a black man. And so in that, and just me in general, I like to see other black people, females and females, you know, and everything in between, to be successful. I like them to achieve success. I like them to strive for whatever success they like. I love that. That sparks inside of me a sense of pleasure, and then also, motivation. It kind of, it shows me that, hey, you can do something. But not only that, I just truly am happy for that person who is achieving some success. And so with Kobe Bryant, it was just like, yeah, I might have not watched the finals, but I'm happy that he won. I'm happy that he got a trophy. That made him happy. That added to, his ideals, and that just was a product of what he did. Because Kobe Bryant, just like every other great basketball player, if you ask them how much practice you did, and they'll probably tell you a insurmountable amount of hours that they have done contributing to their craft of what they did, and that was a direct influence on their success. And so from that, Kobe then kind of moved into motivating people, and I don't think people realize this. And this also kind of is a part of his Wisnard Academy. That was his line of books that he was showing. That it was just like inspirational stories, like you can do it and all that type of stuff. But not only does he say you can do it, this is how you do it. You do it by, if you say that this is what you want to do, you have to take that time out to actually invest into that, right? So, I went back and watched some interviews of him throughout his career, explain his practice schedule, his mindset, his habits. He was just like Will Smith. Will Smith said, you're not going to outwork me, right? That was his work ethic. You're not going to outwork me. He said, example he used, you put me on a treadmill. I might not be the greatest runner, might not be the fastest runner. We both of us on a treadmill together. You will get off that treadmill before I do. I'm going to be sweating. My body's going to be hurting. My back will be hurting. I'm going to be exhausted. I don't care. I will not get off the treadmill before you do, because that's the work ethic that I have. And that's a part that goes into my mentality. You got to be willing to make a sacrifice. Is this something that you want? And in that, you have to have the maturity to say, all right, well, this is what I'm going to do. Set a plan out and then go about making that a reality, because you have a lot of leeway in that. So I don't agree with him, Kobe, Snoop Dogg disrespecting Gayle King like that. Because at the end of the day, whether you feel like she has some alternate agenda to whatever with Oprah to, disrespect black men and all of these things, she's still a black woman. She still should be respected as such. So I don't really agree with him with that. But I do agree that, she definitely kind of took it too far. But another thing Gayle said, because you got to look at both sides. What Gayle said was that was one part of the interview, of a whole entire interview that had been taken, and it kind of led into that. Because usually you have to understand that when you ask questions in the interview, you don't just, it's not all just singular questions. These are all questions that you're trying to paint. If you're a good interviewer, you will paint a picture from that. You're trying to show a point of view, right? The point of view of the person. And so you ask questions that engage them in a way so that they can paint a picture to you to understand what's happening. It might be something situational, like R. Kelly. That was very situational, right? Versus maybe Lisa Leslie's was not situational. It was more of a it was a lifetime thing, right? So I'm interviewing you at this point, and we're gonna go through your whole life, and I'm gonna ask you key things that will have me understand where you were coming from. Because I already know what you did. We already know the history, but I need to know where you were coming from. And so that was something that's not situational. Versus like R. Kelly, you're just asking him questions about these specific situation, right? So, I didn't watch the whole interview, but I can definitely see where she was asking Lisa Leslie more questions. She was asking her, about Kobe's interaction with other women and, things. And then she asked about the case, because that was a part of, Kobe's life. But that wasn't the only part of Kobe's life, and I think that, just in retrospect, I was never one to just, lie just because somebody's dead. I'm not going to sit there and just be like, oh yeah, this person was a great, phenomenal person. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to tell you the truth. They always say nice things when somebody's dead, but I mean, I want you to tell the truth about me. I just want you to tell the truth. You know, don't say anything that's disrespectful, but at the same time, don't just over glorify me. Just tell the truth. You know, I cursed, I had sex. You know, I got in accidents. I broke the. I'm gonna just say break the law, but you know, I speed. I got tickets. This is reality. This is me. This
Don't indict yourself, Derek.
Huh?
Don't indict yourself. The police come get you.
Nah, ain't nothing like that.